Arthritis. 1 in 3 Americans has it. Of the millions who suffer, approximately 1 million people directly involved in agriculture have some form of arthritis that can interfere with their daily farming activities. Of the more than 100 types of arthritis, nearly all cause joint pain and restrict motion. The inflammatory types of arthritis cause systemic problems, such as fatigue, that interfere with the physical work of farming. Like farming, arthritis is a 24-hour, 7 days a week proposition. Hi, I'm Alicia Miles, and today we will be talking about the impact arthritis has on a large part of our population, farmers. Did you know that in the United States, roughly 3 million individuals are committed to farming as both an occupation and a lifestyle? Life on a farm is more than a job. It represents a culture. Farming is often the only trade farmers know. Farming is a physically demanding work, and the income is uncertain. Farmers are often described as thrifty, hardworking, responsible, private, and even stoic. They tend to be survivors, staying on the farm despite severe weather, economic hardships, and disabling injury or disease. Many farms and ranches are family businesses with 2 or 3 generations working together to keep the operation running. Such an enterprise most often includes planting and harvesting field crops or raising livestock or poultry. Farming includes the labor-intensive process of planting and caring for trees, picking fruit, and gathering vegetables. Long hours are typical on a farm. Rising early in the day and working late into the night are the usual routine. Harvesting grain or hay before it rains or assisting in a difficult delivery of a calf or foal may occupy the farmer until late at night. The operation of a dairy farm is a daily, morning, and evening obligation. Vacations are rare. Farm families are usually the only ones knowledgeable about the chores to be done on their own farms. Together, they feel a deep personal responsibility for the well-being and care of both their animals and their land. As with any private business, they are reluctant to turn over the day-to-day responsibilities to others, even when help is available. The family home is on the land and is often a considerable distance from towns that offer convenient access to alternative employment and the medical services most of us take for granted. Isolation is one reason farmers with arthritis present unique problems to physicians and other health care providers. It is often difficult for farmers to obtain satisfactory, effective medical treatment because farm tasks cannot be left for days or even hours while the farmer travels the distance and spends the time to receive medical attention. Yet, farmers and their families must make the effort to obtain medical care. The care they receive needs to be efficient, well-informed, and coordinated. It is critical that health care providers who work with the rural population understand the farm lifestyle and how arthritis can so adversely affect it. Suitable arthritis management can improve the quality of life for farmers. Here to talk to us today about the challenge of arthritis in a farm population and of the importance of self-management is Dr. Sarah Walker of the University of Missouri School of Medicine.
Middle-aged and younger adults and children, as well as older people, may have arthritis that complicates their lives on the farm. Rheumatoid arthritis, the second most common form of arthritis, and other rheumatic diseases such as ankylosing spondylitis are typically diagnosed at younger ages, when individuals are expected to be most physically vigorous. Children and teenagers, including those with juvenile arthritis, may use equipment, lift sacks and bales of hay, and work with large animals. Certainly, osteoarthritis is a major disability for many farmers. We know that medication can slow or even prevent joint deterioration for patients with certain types of arthritis, and joint replacement has restored function to thousands. Although hip and knee replacements have their limits, most patients who have undergone joint surgery find their ability to function vastly improved.
The earlier a farmer learns to self-manage arthritis, the better he or she will be in the long run. When arthritis is diagnosed in the early stages, providers can educate and refer the patient to sources of information that can allow a farmer to make adjustments so that he or she can keep farming. In the following scene, a physician is advising early intervention and the importance of education in order to become an effective self-manager.
And do you have any more questions about your medications?
I think as long as I get them written down and how to take them and everything, I should be okay.
Let's talk about more options with management of your arthritis.
I exercise on a treadmill daily. Is that enough?
But not all patients see their doctor early enough. Some wait until their arthritis is severe to seek treatment and care. Even if a patient does not receive self-management instructions early in the disease, a healthcare provider can still encourage the farmer to seek out helpful information.
Gary, those x-rays of your knees we took showed a lot of narrowing of the joint space and a lot of thinning of the cartilage. We sometimes call that osteoarthritis wear and tear arthritis, and at some point those bones will be touching each other, and at that point we need to start thinking about getting total joint replacements. In addition to the medications, we can sometimes put some injections in your knees, and that'll help you get around for a while, and we can pursue the exercises and the weight loss and maybe a brace to help keep you farming. Do you see these knees at some point causing you to stop farming?
I hope not, but it's kind of like anybody's hobby. You want to keep at it as long as you can.
I understand you don't want to quit farming. You've got a lot of arthritis in those knees and some arthritis in your hips as well. What I'd like you to do is go speak to the people at the Northwest Missouri Regional Arthritis Center. And they've got a lot of information about some things you can do and modifications you can make around the farm to make your work a little easier. And you can also speak with the county agent about some things and services that are available to help you get your job done a little easier.
Yeah.
Farmers often delay seeking medical care. In the United States, most of us obtain inexpensive health insurance through our employers. Because they are self-employed, farmers are not often able to pay for health insurance. Therefore, farmers may avoid seeing a doctor until they are eligible for Medicare coverage. Farmers usually pay less into Social Security and have little to save for retirement. They often continue to operate the farm as they grow older because they need the income. People tend to associate arthritis with symptoms of aging and may not be aware that their pain, stiffness, and fatigue come from arthritis and can be treated. It seems reasonable to advise a farmer with arthritis to find different work or to retire. But for most, this is not practical. A farm family may not have the skills, motivation, or fiscal resources to make such a transition. Their money is tied up in buildings, livestock, land, and equipment. At the turn of the 21st century, both men and women continue to do farm chores into advanced old age. An increasing number of women, often widows, continue to operate farms alone. The older the farmer, the more likely arthritis is to be a chronic complaint, and osteoarthritis is the most frequent diagnosis. Farmers with arthritis need to be familiar with farm specialists who have resources and ideas for modifying equipment. Here to speak with us about some of the risks and some of the information available to farmers is Dr. Willard Downs, Professor of Agricultural Engineering.
Farm work can be a factor in the development of arthritis. The use of heavy equipment, hand tools without ergonomic features, and vibrating motorized tools are related to the development of osteoarthritis. Manual labor with lifting and twisting stresses many joints of the body at the same time. Work around large animals is correlated with an increased incidence of arthritis, often as a sequel to a joint injury. The goal of agricultural engineers is to make farming as safe and efficient as possible. Together with university extension specialists, they can provide information about farm adaptations that make chores easier and safer. New tools and farm equipment are often designed with ergonomic features, but older machines can also be modified to increase safety and ease of use for persons with arthritis. The adaptations allow farmers to work with less pain and may even help slow or prevent the development of arthritis. Specific advice about equipment modifications may be as simple as suggesting that an extra step be installed on a tractor. Other inexpensive devices include extended control levers, a steering wheel knob, and rear view mirrors. More elaborate modifications for farmers who spend long hours in the field include hand controls for the tractor brake and gear shift. These are helpful if the arthritis of the knees and hip is a problem. National programs such as Agribility and Breaking New Ground offer suggestions that make farm work safer and more accessible. The Internet is a good way to access these programs and services.
Other helpful suggestions include a visit, ideally a farm visit, with an occupational or physical therapist who can provide the farmer with ideas about work simplification and the use of adaptive equipment. An early referral may help stave off joint changes associated with poor alignment, weakness, or overuse. The goals are primarily information and education to foster self-management, so repeated visits with the providers are usually not necessary, although occasional follow-ups are a good idea. I'd like you to meet Robert and May. Both in their mid-70s, they live on the farm where Robert grew up. Robert's grandfather established the farm, and their son is in line to take over when Robert retires. While the older model tractors shown are not ideally equipped with safety equipment, such as rollover bars, the equipment shown is typical of what still is used on many farms. Robert was diagnosed with osteoarthritis several years ago. He has pain and limited motion in his neck, shoulders, hands, lumbar spine, hips, and knees. Medication is a key part of his pain management program. He understands that staying active and getting enough exercise is necessary to maintain function. His wife, May, also has osteoarthritis. Maintaining her hobby of playing the organ helps keep her fingers supple and encourages good posture. As Robert carries out his farm activities, he finds that suggestions he received from his physician and other care providers, as well as his own creativity, have made his work easier. The heavy concrete cattle feeder has been placed next to the fence so that he does not have to enter the muddy enclosure to feed the cattle. This way, Robert avoids being accidentally bumped by the large animals while his feet are mired in mud, improving safety. Robert carries a bucket to the grain bin and kneels to put a bucket under the spout. After the bucket is full, he slides it out, stands, and carries it to the feed trough, where several large beef cattle wait. The trough is convenient for pouring and heavy enough so the cattle will not move it. However, this chore would be easier for his hands and back if he used 2 buckets, each only partly full. Big round bales of hay must be taken out of the barn and moved out to the cows and calves. Robert's son helps by using another tractor to pull the large bales down, enabling Robert to pick them up more safely and easily with his own tractor. Planning for help with moving the bales saves Robert time and effort as well as physical wear and tear. People with arthritis can learn to accept help with some chores and sometimes need encouragement to wait until assistance is available. Robert climbs on his tractor with some effort. While the tractor does have handholds, the step is high and he must use his upper extremities to pull himself up. Another step welded to the tractor would make the climb easier. Seats on newer equipment are more ergonomically designed, but seats on older tractors can usually be improved without great expense. Robert did replace his old tractor seat with a better, cushioned one. He drives the tractor over rough ground to the field where cattle are fed hay out of large steel rings. The rings must be pushed to clean ground on a regular basis. This can be accomplished with the tractor. Once the bale has been dropped to the ground, the ring must be lifted and flipped over the bale. Robert is able to turn the rings manually without any assistance. If Robert decides this task is too strenuous, Robert's son could be called upon to turn the rings over with newer equipment. The medical management of his arthritis has relieved stiffness and pain and make it possible for Robert to turn the hay rings over, climb fences, and repeatedly climb up and down from the tractor to open and close gates. These activities help maintain his high level of function. However, Robert is aware that the time may come when he will need to stop some chores, obtain different farm equipment, or rely on others to handle some of the heavier tasks. Robert may not be doing everything his doctor imagines, but the farm chores help maintain a good level of physical fitness and reward him with a sense of self-control. Many individuals invent their own adaptations after they learn what is needed to protect their joints during work. The cost of adaptations is often worth it to allow the farmer to maintain his livelihood. Caregivers can help farmers and their families tap into resources for ideas and suggestions. Just as medical care for persons with arthritis will continue to advance, so will ways to make farm work easier for the person with arthritis. Farmers are willing to put up with significant physical discomfort to maintain their way of life. Their ability to solve problems, often gained from a lifetime of experience, makes the farmer with arthritis a resourceful partner in arthritis management.
People with arthritis need to be fully informed and involved in the self-management of their disease. As a primary provider, you can provide useful information that makes it easier for the farmer with arthritis to remain on the farm.
Thank you for joining us in our discussion of farmers with arthritis.